Welcome guys, thank you for watching this video, but before we proceed, do not forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like this video, share it to all of your friends, and also check out the description for further information guys. And now, let's get into the video.
Alright guys, so welcome to today's video, and in today's video we will start with creating the actual game mechanics, so creating the actual lobby system which recognizes when a certain amount of players have joined the game and therefore initiates the game the game selection process, let's say. So basically the game itself, so when there are enough players within the game, then I don't know, some different game modes will start. For example, a free-for-all game mode or a team deathmatch game mode, etc. So we will of course only create one for now, but we can of course later on if you guys want to see that. So we can also do some other game modes as well if you guys really want to see that later on. But yeah. Okay. So, let me stop this. And let me... turn the visible to false, and also... let me... Oh, okay, there we go. So... Alright, let's start with the actual game. So how is this going to work out? We first of all will need a display up here, which tells us what the game is actually currently doing. So if there is already a game running, or if the server still needs more players to join in order to start the game, or if the game is about to run, so if the game is initiating whatsoever. So we will need a display to keep the players updated about the current game status. So let's first of all create that. So we will create this frame right here, and I'm gonna import this UI corner inside. I'm gonna call this game status. Come on, status. And well, I don't know about the UI gradient, did not work out in the last video. Okay, let's add it inside, and let's give it a size. Come on. Okay. Okay, yeah. So that was this. Yeah, so that was the frame I was talking about. So it is up here, and it is going to display the game's current status. So make sure that you have these components right here. They do not need to have the same design as we do right now, but you really need to make sure that at least these instances right here are contained and also within the same order. So the status is a child of the game status, you know? So just make sure that this applies on your version if you want to do something else. Okay, there we go. So this is of course the default text, because the default status of the game is that there is no player inside, and therefore more players are needed. And we are going to update this status bar with or by using a remote event, which is going to be inside of here. So instead of the replicated storage, let's call this one server, and let's go inside of this local script as I have already done it up here, and let's define a variable which refers to this server remote event. So remote server, come on, game get service replicated storage, so basically referring to the replicated storage, and then wait for child, come on, wait for child server. There we go. And now down here we are going to define an event. So on client event. So wait, come on, I'm just misspelling so much currently. Okay. Okay, on client event. So you guys should know about fire serving, so fire server, and this is the exact opposite, so fire client. And this basically can be performed within a server script or a regular script. I just call them server scripts because it actually is our server script and it is stored inside of the server and it is the server's perspective. So we can perform a fire client in this script right here, and what it does is that you can either fire to all clients or you can only fire to a certain client, and you really need to replace the word client with player, and that will bring up a better understanding of what this actually does. So you're basically fire serving, but just to a certain player, okay? So you can transmit certain information, in our case to the game's status. And let me show you how we are going to use this one. So gameplay, no wait, what do we need? Let's create a loop while true do wait, okay, and we will now wait. So I think that we can no we will really need this loop right here. So if game players, no, not player edit, players get children is greater than okay, wait. Okay, so create a string value right here instead of the workspace. And I really thought about fire clienting, but I don't think that this will work out as expected since we are working with a while true do loop. And this will probably result in the fire client being used many times because, as I've already said, we are inside of a loop right here. Yeah, so I'm thinking about a method which could work out. Wait, so this case right here is when there are enough players. Let's create the let's script the opposite case, so when there are not enough players, which is our case as for now. So else local status. So let's refer to the string value we have just created. Status workspace. Status, okay. Status value. More players needed. Yeah. More players needed. And now, within those brackets, we can enter the amount of players which are still needed in order to initiate the game. So toString whatsoever, 5 minus the amount of players. So I'm gonna explain those lines, not worry. And there we go. Okay. Else if wait. Okay. So I'm gonna explain this to you now. So this first case right here should be clear to you. So we are basically referring to this players tab right here, and we are performing a get children and getting all of the children inside. Basically, we are getting all of the players, and by having this hashtag in front, we are getting the amount of current players, and we are now comparing that amount of players with 5. So if our amount of players either is greater than 5 or equals 5. Then we are ready to proceed to the actual game, okay? So we are still going to script that. Okay, now let's focus on the opposite case. So if our current amount of players is not greater than 5 and our status value right here is not updated, because that's basically, yeah, the updated status of our status value right here. So it might be that, wait, or it might happen that, let's say that you have 3 players, okay, and your status right here displays that more players are needed, in brackets 3, 2, I mean, yeah, 2, and then another player joins, okay, so nothing has changed, so there are still less players than needed, but the status bar is not updated because we have now, we have now gotten 1 more player, and there's still 1 more player left in order to proceed with the game, you know, so therefore this requirement right here is important as well, in order to keep the status bar updated, what happens down here. So we are basically changing this status string value to more players needed, brackets, and then we are adding the amount of players which are needed in order to proceed, and this works by, yeah, connecting, yeah, those strings together by using these 2 dots and then a toString. So I'm using this one because we are having a calculation right here. Therefore, we should turn this into a string. Otherwise, it might happen that we run into an error because we try to integrate or implement a number inside of a string, which should not work out, as I think. And yeah, and the calculation is basically 5, so our amount of players which are needed in order to run the game minus our current amount of players, because that's the way on how you calculate how much players are still left in order to, yeah, proceed with the game, guys. Okay. Now, we are not going to use the Fire client, or the Fire client, yeah, sadly. So I'm gonna be removing this. Instead, I'm gonna add this status variable. Wait, let me go inside of the server script again. Yeah, workspace status. I should add a wait for child right here, because sometimes it happens that the player or those scripts right here actually load faster than, I don't know, some instances somewhere else. So I have experienced that many times, but never mind. Okay, so status. Wait, so function update status bar. Okay. Script parent. So that's basically a function, and this one is going to update this status text labels text. So script parent game status status text, and then basically the value of our status string value right here. So status value. Okay, so that's basically our function, and now we can just do update status bar, and then status changed connect. I'm not sure how this works out because I have barely used it, but is that the correct way? I don't know. Past value is not a function. Yeah, okay, so as I've said, I barely use this way to make a function run within events, so I prefer this one, even when this is more bad practice than the method before. So as you can see, it has updated, and there is now a method for us to see if it actually updates. So we did not specify what kind of instances we are looking for, so you could really add a selection box inside, and this should cause a change, as you can see. So I could be removing it, and yeah. So it actually updates, as you can see, and that's cool. Okay, now we can move on with further creation, further work on this status thing. So that's our first case right here, when when there are no players, or when there are a few players which are not enough in order to start the actual game. Come on, stop already. Wait, I'm gonna pause the video and come back when this has successfully stopped. Alright, so it has finally stopped, but as you can see, not running script because past shutdown deadline. So I think that this loop right here actually creates more issues than it helps. So let's really work with, so let's really work this way. So game players, player edit. No, wait. No, never mind. I just had a feeling, but no, this will work out. Okay. Okay, let's quickly see if this still works as expected. And I'm of course going to test this out with much more players later on. Okay, so as you can see, it does not work. Okay, do you know why? Because we have been adding selection boxes, and they're actually... So, there was no player who has joined, you know? So let me try and play with 4 players just to see if this works. Okay, I'm gonna pause the video at this point, and I'm gonna come back if everything has worked fine. Okay, so let me just quickly... As you can see, well, I had no mic sound, but you were able to see that only 1 player was needed, and we were 4 in total. So this display does work, and we have now managed to to really recognize if there was a player which has been added. So as you guys have seen earlier, I was able to put selection boxes inside of the players tab, and it still updated the bar, you know. So now this code right here differentiates between player and other instances. Okay, so that's it. Now let's move on. So if we have if our amount of players is greater than 5 or equals 5, then we can start. Okay. We should... Where is it? We should create a bool value inside of this server's script, and let's call this one started. And this should be set to true. So script start true. So we are referring to this boolean, and then we are setting it to true. And we should check from the beginning right here if it is false, because there's no point in starting the game when it is already started, you know? Okay, and we should also check if it is false down here. Okay, so now we can begin. And yeah, so more players needed. We should change the status to starting game. And now we need to do the code for the game start. Okay, so what kind of code could we possibly do? So as I've already indicated, we will have different game modes, and therefore we should create a table which contains all possible game modes, okay? So our first and only game mode for now is going to be free for all. And you can just possibly add some more game modes down here, and I will do that in future episodes. And yeah, and the code down here now is going to pick out one of these. So chosen game mode. So game modes, math random one game modes. Okay, there we go. Print chosen game mode. Okay, so what happens right here basically is that we are creating a new variable which refers to our table right here, and inside of those brackets, as you can see, we can write an index, okay? And the index basically just refers to a certain entry, and an index is either a number, or it can also be a text regarding on how your table looks like. So for this case right here, your index would be a number, but for those cases, case 1, for example, your index is a text, as you can see. Okay. So that's all about indexing, and we are now trying to choose a random entry by generating a random number. And this random number, so the minimum is 1, and the maximum is the total amount of entries inside. So it is choosing a random number between those two, which is 1 in our case, because we only have one entry, you know? So this is going to be 1, and therefore it is going to choose free for all. That's basically what I expect to happen. And we can now down here check what our game mode actually is. And that's the point where we actually script those game modes. So if our chosen game mode is free for all, then we are going to script that. Okay. Starting game. We should leave a little bit of time, maybe 10 seconds, just to make this, just to create the illusion that this is actually, or that there is actually some big processes behind of it, you know. So chosen game mode, free for all. Okay. So let's change the status to chosen game mode, and then of course our game mode right here, free for all. Let me do it this way. String upper chosen game mode. Okay, now we are going to wait 30 seconds. Chosen game mode, wait. Game starts in 30 seconds. So this 30 seconds right here allows the player to equip a certain character or whatsoever. So just to prepare the player for this game right now. And after 30 seconds, so after that, we are going to spawn the players on a certain map. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna add this print right here just to see how far the script goes. Okay, so let me spawn 4 players again. I think that I'm able to spawn another player within the game. So when this whole thing is already being run. And now let me pause the video and I'll be back once this whole thing is ready. Alright, so there we go, as you can see. And I should be able to change this to 1 and then start again. And then, another player should join the game and we should be ready. Yeah, so as you can see, it says starting game. And after 10 seconds, it should, select the game mode, you know, and then just start or try to start the free for all. Okay, starting game. Okay, so this looks suspicious. Let me pause the video. Let me see if any error has occurred. Okay, so there was an error. So this whole thing did not start because I have written free for fall instead of free for all. My mistake. Free for all, of course. But so it would have worked. And yeah, but I have another idea. So instead of starting the game right away, we should work on a map selection. So local maps. Okay, and now we need to design a map. Okay. Wait, okay, Kami's Tower. So Kami's Tower is basically, or at least I think that's the name of this building right here. So we are going to make this the first map. And yeah. Chosen game mode. Choosing map now. Well, it is going to choose a map according to the same mechanic as up here. Chosen map. Maps. Chosen map. Okay, now chosen map, of course. So connecting this string with our chosen map. And what string upper does is that it writes every string or every character inside of this string right here in uppercases. Chosen map. There we go. Okay, so the map has been chosen. And now starting game in 30 seconds. Okay, and then after 30 seconds, you should spawn on the map. So that's basically everything regarding free-for-all. We can also do the following. So we could wait. Okay. We should create a folder. No, folder, of course. And this folder is going to be stored inside of the server script. And this folder is going to be called free for all. And it is going to contain an instance for every player. So we are going to loop through the players tab right here. Game players, get children, do. Local x instance.new int value. So I'm going to create an int value which is going to represent the player within this folder. Folder x.name equals v.name. So v is basically our player, which we are currently at because we are looping through the players tab, as I've said. And we are going to create an int value inside of the folder for every player. And once a player dies, its value is going to vanish. Okay. Okay, so we're choosing game modes, we're doing this and that. We could also use the int values to first of all represent the players, but also to save their kills, which they have made, you know, and according to how much kills they have, they get a amount, or they get a reward, which is influenced by the amount of kills they made, you know. So we could possibly do that. Yeah. Now let me work on the map. Folder map, come on. Okay, so that's the tower. Okay, and we should move it far, far away so that we are unable to see the spawn right there. Okay, there we go. So that should be far enough. Now move it in sort of the replicated storage, and we are going to clone it out every time when it is supposed to spawn. So free for all. So we are creating the folder, we are choosing the map, and now right here we will need to spawn the map. So map, game, get service, replicated storage, find first child, chosen map, map clone. Oh, wait, we can apply this right here. And we can just place it inside of the workspace. There we go. So that's on how you spawn the map. Okay, now. Okay, spawn a map, yeah. So we need to create that map spawn thing. So how do we make our players spawn on the map? Let's put it back inside of the workspace again. Let's zoom to it. And you can basically create a port and call this spawn port and move it inside of this folder and make sure can collide as false and that it is anchored and that the transparency is set to 1. And now you can move it back inside of the replicated storage, and inside of the server script, instead of having this spawn on map, we can just loop through the folder this time, because it might happen that within this code, so we are basically selecting the players which are ready to fight right here, okay? And within the moment of selecting the players and actually teleporting them, so within that moment, so right here, it is possible that another player has joined, but that player has not been added to the folder, you know, and therefore he should be unable to, or he or she should be unable to participate in this match. Therefore, it is not good that we loop through the players, because we would loop through those kind of players, you know? So therefore, we should loop through the folder, because the folder contains the name of those players who have been selected for the match, because they were there when the match has been selected, you know? So, local folder, so we are looping through the folder, get children, and P is our player, so game players, v.name, okay. Okay, workspace, wait for child, P name, humanoid root part, C-frame, map, spawn part, C-frame, multiplied with multiplied with C-frame.new, math random, -10, 10, 0, math random, -10, 10. Okay. Okay, so that's when all of the players have been spawned. Okay, yeah. So I'm of course unable to test. Okay, wait. Let me change something. No. Let's leave it. Okay. So we are teleporting the players. Let's see how this looks like. Let me test this out. And oh my god. So that was my doorbell. And I'm gonna mute myself. Alright, so here we go. This text right here has been here for like, I'm honest, for 4 hours. So I went AFK within this recording session, and this text did not change within 4 hours, and I know what the issue is. So let me pause the video again. Wait, you now have seen my tabs. So I'm gonna pause the video now, and I'm gonna come back to fix the issue. Okay, so the issue is that I have forgotten to add a bracket right here, and that's everything. That was the issue, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna host this game again, and then we'll see how this is going to work out. Okay, so there we go. So the game is supposed to start in 30 seconds. Well, let's see if that actually is going to work out. Okay. So I'm gonna walk around a little. Okay, so the map did spawn. Okay, so let's see. Okay. Seems suspicious. Let me pause the video again. Okay, so there is no error message this time. I'm gonna just pause the video again, and I will try to get it to work and then tell you guys what I have done in order to make it work. Okay, so see you soon. Alright guys, so was my bad. It did work out. I was just too dumb to realize that when I have unpaused the video that the teleportation was already over, you know? So we already have been teleported to the new map, and I was filming our players on a new map, you know, so on the just chosen map, and the issue is that our chosen map is the same as our lobby, therefore I have mistaken it for the lobby, you know. So that was the issue. So everything works fine. I have just changed a few things right here. So I have removed the player and instead just entered v.name, but that's not a huge difference. Also, I would like to make the player unable to move, otherwise he would be able to attack right away, but I do not want him to be able to. So we are referring to the player's character and then to its humanoid, and then we are setting the walk speed to 0.